I'm just wondering what you're doing.
Just explained to one of these civic enforcement officers I'm filming.
What are you filming?
Anything I can see from public.
Right, and is there a reason behind that?
It's for a story.
Right, okay. Can I take your details, please?
What would you like my details for?
Because obviously, in the interest of public safety and everything like that, when somebody is out filming and having a look around public buildings,
Right.
we have a duty of care
Right.
to check you out.
What, a duty of care to whom?
To the general public.
I'm part of the general public.
Yes.
I don't have to give you my details there.
So, the officer opens with, "What are you filming?" He explains, "Public buildings for a story, completely lawful." But watch what happens next. She demands his details, says it's for public safety, says she has a duty of care. Here's what she's getting wrong. Duty of care doesn't create a power to collect names from anyone with a camera. It applies when there's an identifiable risk, not when there's uncertainty, not when you're just curious.
What's the issue?
There isn't an issue.
I'm just wondering why he's filming public buildings.
Yeah, why?
I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can. Hang on, wait a minute. I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can see from a public place, including council buildings that are owned by the public.
Okay, we have concerns about public safety.
And your concerns are?
We don't know who you are.
That's not a concern.
It is.
It isn't.
In the day and age that we are in.
Are you accusing me of being a terrorist?
I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but
do you have reasonable suspicion to believe that I'm up to anything other than?
I don't know what you're up to.
Go on to Google filming in public. It'll and even legislation.
Tell me what I need to do.
Right. Well, don't tell me that I need to give you my details when I know that I don't. Okay. Can I ask you to identify yourself? You haven't got any numbers on your pellets?
1,000.
1,000. And name?
Sarah Bainbridge.
And yours?
2629. You're also on body cam.
Yeah, that's fine. And you're based here?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I'm based out of Darlington.
Right, okay, excellent. Hello there.
Oh, yeah, you're all right.
Hello.
This gentleman is filming. He's now refusing to give any details. And
I'm not obliged to.
I can't understand why he's out filming buildings, council buildings, refusing to give any details in light of the incidents we're having around the area.
And those incidents, whatever they may be, no concern of mine, nothing to do with me.
I don't know who you are, and I can't check you out.
Well, you don't need to.
Yes, I do, because I have a duty of care.
I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's anti-terrorism.
There's no terrorist threat at the moment.
Yeah,
but I don't know who you are.
What do you mean there's no terrorist threat? At the moment, we're still on high.
Another officer arrives, and instead of de-escalating, he doubles down. Here's what you need to understand about threat levels. The UK terrorism threat level is set by MI5. It ranges from low to critical. But here's the thing. Threat levels apply to national security planning. They do not create additional police powers on the street. Being on substantial or severe does not give officers the right to demand ID from photographers. The powers remain the same regardless of the threat level. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000 allows an officer to stop and search someone they reasonably suspect of being a terrorist. But reasonable suspicion must be based on specific behaviour or intelligence, not a camera, not filming a council building. The National Police Chiefs Council has issued explicit guidance on this. Photography in public places is not grounds for Section 43. If an officer invokes terrorism because of a camera alone, they're acting outside of the law.
No terrorist threat at the moment, and nor has there been over the past 5 years, towards any public buildings.
That's a lie, because there was one yesterday, actually.
Was there? Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Well,
where was
there
that?
You go.
So where was that?
We don't know.
So here?
Yes, it was, actually.
Right.
Yeah, there's one to the council officers as well.
Right. In Darlington?
By an unknown male.
Right.
There was a bomb hoax yesterday.
Was it?
At 11 o'clock yesterday, yesterday morning.
Right.
By an unknown male. One of the council buildings for a buzz that could possibly be you.
Right. Well, that's nothing to do with me. No concern of mine.
How do we know that?
Well, were they stood outside with a mobile phone?
Look, we're not getting into this. I am now asking you to leave the area because I feel that you...
On what grounds?
Because you are alarming the public.
No. Which section of the law? You give me the section of the law, I'll quite happily move.
You just need...
Beg your pardon? I'm just a...
I never said one word.
The auditor offers a simple test. Name the section of the law and I'll move. This is excellent practice, and here's why. Under Pace Code A, officers exercising stop and search must identify the power they're using. They must state the grounds, they must give their name and station. Procedural, it's required. If an officer can't name the section, they probably don't have one. His challenge exposes exactly that. She pauses, says nothing. That silence is your answer. If the authority was solid, it would be easy to articulate. Use this yourself. If an officer makes a demand, ask them to cite a legal power. If they can't, you know where you stand.
You liar. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm not going to talk to anybody.
Because we're filming you as well.
That's fine. It's public.
Just stand
It's
here
perfectly
until you
okay.
move out of the
It's
way.
okay. It's perfectly okay to film in public, which is what I was explaining to your colleague.
Right.
I'll just stand here.
You can stand there as long as you want. So apparently there was a bomb hoax yesterday in Darlington. I didn't see anything in the media. However, it might just have been overlooked. The architecture on those buildings is quite similar to those ones. What's 1903? It's say on the front of this building when this was built. But the architecture, like I say, is quite similar. I know it used to be a school, and been stalked by an officer.
You gave me your details, and I could
Right. So
be happy that there is
my
nothing
details.
untoward.
My details won't give you any other information.
I would like to check you out
Well,
so that I am happy that I can leave you unattended on
You
the side
can.
of the road.
You've got.
She keeps pushing for details, says she wants to check him out, says she can't leave him unattended without knowing who he is. Let's be clear about what powers actually exist for demanding identification. Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002 allows an officer to require a name and address if they have reason to believe someone is engaged in antisocial behaviour. But antisocial behaviour has a legal definition. It means behaviour that has caused or is likely to cause harassment, alarm or distress. As we can clearly tell, filming a building causes none of those things. Standing on a pavement also causes none of those things. And being unknown to an officer, again, causes none of those things. Section 1 of PACE allows stop and search for stolen items or items for use in a crime. But you need reasonable suspicion of specific prohibited articles. A camera isn't one. And Section 43 of the Terrorism Act allows stop and search for evidence of terrorism, but you need reasonable suspicion that person is a terrorist, and filming isn't evidence of that. So if none of these powers apply, we can take it there is no power to demand your identity. It's that simple. This is exactly why I created my Know Your Rights guide. Download it from the first link in the description.
No, you've got no actual reason other than curiosity as to why I'm filming to be stood here
I want
asking.
to know who you are
Well,
to make sure.
I don't have to identify myself, and you're well aware of that. I know the law just as much
Very
as you.
shortly, I will to prevent a breach of the peace.
You can't prevent a breach of the police
can prevent
if
a breach.
none was going to take place. I'm not breaching anybody's peace.
I have colleagues and members of the council staff who were very concerned about why you were out here filming in light of the incident.
I'm
yesterday.
filming a story. I'm not filming in light of those incidents.
Well,
those incidents weren't even known to me until you made them aware.
Prove or negate either way. All I want is your details to make sure that no members of the public are of threat
They're
by
not.
you. Well,
My details wouldn't give you any more information about that.
people tell me every day how good they are.
I'm not saying I'm not saying. Hang on, I'm not saying I'm good. What I'm saying, I'm not denying either way.
Everybody says all the time with interactions with the police. It wasn't me.
Because
I'm no threat.
That's because your interaction, instead of accepting what I'm doing is perfectly legal, is to cite laws that don't exist. Say that
cited a law that doesn't
you
exist.
told me that you were going to move me. You can't move me without that section, without the powers under a section.
Then she says, I'm going to prevent a breach of the peace. This is a power that gets misused constantly, so let's be precise about what it actually means. Breach of the peace is a common law power. It allows police to take action when violence is imminent or actually occurring. But none of that is happening here. There's no violence, no confrontation, no disorder, just a man with a camera answering questions. Breach of the peace is not a discomfort blanket. It's not triggered by officers being frustrated. It requires imminent harm. If an officer threatens breach of the peace when nothing is happening, ask them directly, what violence is imminent right now? And watch them struggle to answer.
I have reasonable grounds to believe you.
If you're asking me to move,
Yes.
right, and you can state me a section of the law, I'll move quite happily. That's a perfectly reasonable request.
It's fine because we've got supervision.
Do you
coming in.
understand what the current level of
If,
threat at the moment
right,
is?
if there has
You know
been,
what imminent means? I'm sure you do. You said an intelligent
if there has been a threat yesterday of some sort, then yes, I can understand.
Right. So now you understand.
But I wasn't aware of that until you told me.
Right.
And
So now that's why we need your details.
well, you don't need my details.
Yes, we do.
So do you have the details whoever it was who you spoke to
You
yesterday?
know what's going to happen, right? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting arrested.
For what?
Right? Listen, that
No, for
we're
what?
speaking to a supervision at the moment, okay? Based on the current threat levels and the incident that happened
And now
yesterday,
we'll get an
that
order out.
ended up getting seized, okay, under the terrorism laws, okay?
Your body cameras will also be made public knowledge to me, and I'll use them.
That's fine. I want to know.
I just
we wanna
can't
know
see
who
why
you
you're
are.
being
Well,
so obstructive.
I'm not being obstructive at all.
You are being-
I'm
You
not
are.
obliged. No, there's no obstruction because I'm not obliged by law to give you
Well, that's
unless
fine,
you
you can fight that in court then.
unless you reasonably assume I don't need to because it wouldn't go to court.
Well, you're being
You'd be looking at a lawsuit.
The officer loses patience, threatens arrest, talks about seizing the camera under terrorism legislation. Let's talk about seizure. Under Section 43, police can seize items they reasonably suspect are evidence of terrorism. But a phone or camera containing footage of a public building is not evidence of terrorism, because filming is legal, so the footage itself is legal, and seizing it without grounds is theft under colour of authority. The Protection of Freedoms Act 2012 actually strengthened rights around photography. It confirmed that photography in public places is not illegal and should not be treated as suspicious.
Being obstructive, I don't care.
I'm not being obstructive at all.
Yeah.
Refusing to give my details when being asked is not an
Listen,
obstruction.
You've asked for our details, okay?
Because I'm, as a member of the public, and you've been civil servant, you are legally obliged to give me those details upon request.
You've obviously got nothing else better to do.
Well, but that's my concern, not yours.
Yeah.
Filming is a perfectly legal activity.
Because we don't know why you are filming.
But I've told you why I'm filming, for a story,
A story for what?
for YouTube, for my blog.
Right. So who are you? If
I
you-
don't have to identify myself. And you're well aware of the law regarding identification, stop and search powers and procedures.
It's fine. At the moment, my colleagues are on to senior officers so that we can have a power of stop and search to get your details.
Good luck with that. You're detaining me.
I'm not detaining you.
Oh, so you just said to me I'm not going anywhere at the minute.
Listen, where do you intend to go next? Because I'm just going to follow you, right?
That's no concern of yours.
Right, well, listen, I'm just going to follow you because we need to speak to you about what you're doing.
You can follow me wherever you like,
that's fine,
but don't tell me that I'm not going anywhere
All right.
because that's a threat of detainment unlawfully.
Then comes the detention question. He says the auditor's not going anywhere at the minute, but then says he's going to follow him wherever he goes. This is where you need to understand the legal meaning of detention. Detention doesn't require handcuffs. It doesn't require the word arrest. If you're not free to leave, you're detained. That's the test. The case law on this is clear. If a reasonable person would not feel free to leave, they are detained. And detention requires grounds. Your move in this situation is to say, if you're not detaining me, I'm leaving, and then leave. If they physically stop you, they've detained you, and now need to articulate why.
Right, listen.
Okay.
Would you like to come back round at the police station
don't
where
need
we speak to you?
No, I don't need to.
You don't need
No.
to. Right, where are you going now?
I'm not telling
Right,
you.
I'm going to follow you then, okay?
You follow me.
Okay.